Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Iker with the Funky High Vibes and we're reviewing today the Spirit Keepers Tarot by Benebell Wen. If you don't know her, she's the author of Holistic Tarot, which is a massive tarot book, pretty much your university of tarot. So she's quite brilliant. She has a YouTube channel here on YouTube, just like I said. And she created a deck of her own. And it's actually really cool because everything is hand drawn. Even the box, like even this whole design here is all hand drawn. Let's get a little closer so you guys can see like some details. It's just really cool. And this is the second edition. She has the first edition, which is black and white, which I didn't get. But I ended up getting the second edition, which she calls the Vitruvian edition, which is more of a sepia tone. So it comes in this pretty sturdy box, and look at the sides. It's really beautiful with the jewels that she's got, purple. And in the back, she has an insert of the Egyptian Book of Dead. So that's really cool. And this is also hand-drawn as well, same as the front side. Opens up just like that. And I love the inside too, where it says "Dare to Know." And then you have this design in the back, which is in her tarot, she calls the Archangel of Mysteries. And here you got the sides too. She got some Latin going on. And she explains it all in her book that accompanies this tarot deck. So the thing about this tarot deck is actually pretty interesting and really cool. And if you know Benebell Wen, she doesn't do anything half-assed or small. So it comes with a little white book, and it's actually a pretty thick little white book. You know, I've seen much thinner little white books out there. This one is actually pretty meaty. And it does come with a certification of vital record. So you know the authenticity and everything. As of the taping of this video, I know she has 200 tarot decks left for sale. As far as she knows, as far as she's saying, she will not be making any more decks to sell. So the 200 that sell out are it. So be sure to see when you're watching this video and check out her website. Now, before I show you the actual cards, the Spirit Keepers Tarot comes with just a deck, or if you want, you can get the premium package, which I did. Which you do get, of course, the little white book comes with every one. Now, you also do get the medium white book, which is actually pretty awesome. It's an extended version of the little white book. And it goes through everything. It goes through each card. And in this deck, you know, she designed it really beautifully. The recording angel, a little prayer to open up the tarot deck for us. Of course, table of contents, an introduction of how she explains of what she came up with and how she came up with the design. In white, she calls it the Vitruvian edition. And she has 3 significators in this deck, and she explains everything. She explains her breakdown, and she also like separates them each. So she has the Initiate, which is the Fool, and the Seeker, which is another version of the Fool, and the Keeper, which is a third version of the Fool that she came up with. And then she goes through everything. She explains the Septenaries, she explains the Magus, which is the Magician, the Priestess, the Empress, and she goes through the whole thing. It's just a meatier and bigger version of the little white book. Now, the premium version comes with, which I didn't realize how massive this would be, but what she calls the Book of Maps. And this thing is intense. It's very thick and beautiful. And it's a reference manual. And it has 740 pages. Now, in this little encyclopedia of tarot, she goes through everything. We have the recording angel. She gives you the Lord's Prayer. This design here is what you have in the back of the black and white her first version. But yeah, so the conservator here would be the four of Pentacles, what she calls discs. Orbs, I'm sorry, she calls orbs in this one. The dynasty will be the 10 of orbs or the 10 of pentacles. She has here divided in 4 elements, and they're all Egyptian symbols. She has the I Ching also in here, which is, I think, here we go, more towards the back. The I Ching. She has a whole panel here of the 64 short form oracles, which are all the I Ching oracles. See, she has a table of contents for the I Ching. She has I Ching tarot correspondences tables. She has a lot in this book. I will be very honest, as of the taping of this video, I have not gone through everything. She even has like Kabbalah going on, like references to Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism. So it's very intense, it's very beautiful. And again, if you know anything about Benebell Wen, she doesn't do anything small or half-assed. So this is what you get. Not only do you get with the Book of Maps, you also do get this other book, which is 22 weeks of a workshop, pretty much. So it's 22 weeks of worksheets and homework that we're gonna go through. So 22 weeks with the Spirit Keepers Tarot. And it's pretty much just a lesson, you know, it's as if she's holding your hand and she's teaching you everything. So 10 minutes of meditation. See, you have Monday, Day of the Moon, about prophecy, intuition, and inner world. Then you do the tarot forecast for the week. Compassion meditation, that's very cool. You have Tuesday, Day of Mars. 1 waking hour of total silence. She gives you pretty much of a breakdown of how the day is going to go and how you're going to spend time with the tarot, with her tarot specifically. But honestly, you can do this with any tarot deck that you feel called. And I've done a few weeks of this so far, and the deck has opened up so much. You have a grounding and shielding recitation. Week 1, the Initiate and the Magus. So she definitely breaks it down. She gives you questions. She gives you a lot to work off of. All right. So this is what comes with the premium version. You have this 22, pretty much classroom. You have the Book of Maps, and she gives you, you know, what to read in the Book of Maps, from which page to what page, just like a syllabus, just like if you're going to school, you have your syllabus, you have your homework for the week of what to read and what to write down and everything. You have the Book of Maps, and you have your medium white book. Now let's go for the cards. It's beautiful because it's gold edged, which is always a nice touch. And these are the backs. Also hand-drawn, incredibly beautiful, very, very intricate with the Vitruvian edition. So here we go. So this is the Keeper. It's the Fool, the third version of the Fool that she has. And this is Spirit and Petition of Spirit. So the way she breaks it down is when you choose, because what she wants you to do is she wants you to choose one of the Fools that you're going to use to represent you. She always uses an indicator card. That's how Benebell reads tarot. So in her tarot specifically, she wants you to use the Fool. But when it comes to Spirit and Petition of Spirit, is every other card that comes out with this indicator means that it's a direct connection with the divine. You're actually talking to an angel. You're actually talking to a deity. So the cards that come out, that kind of fan out in front of you and you do your reading, those are all messages, direct messages from your guides, guardian angels, whatever it is that you associate with. Next one is the Seeker, which is Spirit in Search of Science. And this is when you're really seeking questions, when you're really seeking answers, when you're seeking science, really, when you're seeking something that's very concrete, that's tried and true. And then the next one is the Initiate, which is Spirit in Search of Experience, which is the very beginning of the Fool. As you see the cosmic egg here, it hasn't cracked yet. So you don't know. You're really kind of going for the experience. You're going for the wheel. You know, she even has a Dharma wheel here on the side. You're kind of entering this new portal and this new path that you're not quite sure. So she does break them down by level of consciousness. You have experiences, you have science, and you have direct correlation with spirit. All right. So this is the Two of Wands. The Two of Orbs. They're out of order because I've used this deck quite a few times. And again, I have the Fools because she wants you to use them as indicators. So I kind of have them on top always. So she not only does she have the Two of Orbs here, or the Two of Discs, but she also calls them something. So this one's called the Nocturne. The crown of the Magi would be the world or the universe in a Thoth, but she calls here the New World Order. Let me actually flip this deck. The Six is the Lovers, and she calls Mystery of the Covenant. The Outlaw is the Hanged Man, Sacrifice and Redemption. So Stronghold is the Page. You can actually see like a little page here if you're playing chess. She calls it the Stronghold. This would be the Page of Cups. And Herald of Purifying is what she calls it. But Stronghold of the Grail is the Page of Cups. The Shining Dew. So you're going to see this Pegasus, unicorn. And these are the knights. Every time you see a horse, it's going to be the knight. And it's the Knight of Cups. In this case, waters and waves. Oh, excuse me. The Kindred is the Three of Chalices. Three of Scepters. Six of Chalices. And I love this name, the Memory Keeper, because the Six of Cups, or the Six of Chalices, has a lot to do with nostalgia, of looking back. Two of Swords is the Blind Seer. Three of Orbs is the Mason. Okay, so archangels here are the kings. It would be called the kings. Angel of Storms and Battles, and you see him holding a sword, so you know it's the Archangel Commander, the Archangel of Swords, or the King of Swords. And what I love about it is that she wants you to relate to these cards very, very personally. So to me, the Archangel Commander is Archangel Michael. But you can associate this Archangel Commander with any other one. Sometimes I see this card as Metatron, because Metatron to me is the divine director, right? Or divine conductor or coordinator. So he can also be the commander. So it goes back and forth for me, but it's whatever it is for you. Nine of Chalices, the Wish Granted. This is actually really cool because this is the sun, but she calls it the Warrior. Master of Mystic Light. So it does take a minute for you to get your grounding with this deck because it's so different. But, you see a big cup here, that's going to be the cup. Archangel is the king. So Archangel of Healing, which also a brilliant name for the King of Cups, because it is healing. The cups are all about healing. Five of Swords. The Four of Scepters, which is the Four of Wands. Four of Chalices. The Holy See, number 5, which is the Hierophant. And you can see, you have the two people here, you have the keys, so you can totally relate with the symbols, and it's the Hierophant. Nine of Swords. So the shields are the queens. They're the protectors. They're the defenders. They're the power and authority of air. The Scarlet Shield is the Queen of Swords. Nine of Orbs. The Ten of Swords. She calls the Judgment here the Last Judgment or the Apocalypse, which is very interesting because it can be a very jarring name, especially called the Apocalypse. But, as we know, the Judgment is really not an apocalyptic card in the sense of destruction and end of the world. It's really an ascension. It's really a change of consciousness. So this, to me, makes a lot of sense. The Shining Query. So every time you see the Shining, it's going to be and like I said, you have the horse as well, so it's going to be a knight. And this is the Knight of Orbs. Stronghold is the Page. In this case, the Page of Wands, as you have the Salamander right here. Oh, excuse me. Archangel of Glory. The Archangel of Wands. Stronghold. This would be the Page of Swords. The Hermit. The ebony shield is the Queen of Orbs. The Emperor. She named this one the Force and the Tamed Lion, which is the Strength card, which I think is so... It's such a brilliant depiction of this card. I love it. The Angel is Temperance. The Dynasty, of course it is, right? The ten of Orbs. The Magus. The Empress. The Ivory Shield, the Queen of Cups. The Golden Shield is the Queen of Wands. The Tower. The Chariot. Eight of Chalices, the Defector. Holy Water, which I love, is the Ace of Cups. Bread of Life is the Ace of Orbs. The Corruptor, I love this name, the Corruptor, which is the Seven of Chalices, which is confusion, right? It's a corruption in our thought process. It's a corruption also not just in our thought process, but in our feelings. So I love the renaming of pretty much all of them, honestly. Wheel of Life, Wheel of Fortune, the Sphinx, Destiny Turning, love that. The Bereaved, of course, the Three of Swords, all about bereavement, heartbreak. Ten of Chalices, the Joyous One. The Conservator, Four of Orbs, makes so much sense to me. The Shining Flame, Knight of Wands. Seven of Scepters. I love this. The Gardener, the Seven of Orbs. Six of Swords. The Four of Swords. The Healer, of course, will be the Star. The Burdened. Ten of Wands, Ten of Scepters, of course, carrying all that weight. Discernment, Two of Scepters. Sacred Fire will be the Ace of Fire, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Scepters. The Joined One, I love this, the Two of Chalices. The Reaper, which is Death, and I love this, Passage to Initiation. That's what it is. It's an initiation, it's transformation, it's a passage, a rite of passage. The Giver, Six of Orbs. Five of Orbs, the Vagabond. Battling the Typhon, the demon. The Priestess, which is Sanctuary of Isis, which I love that because I totally relate this card with Isis. Sacred Cinnabar would be the Ace of Swords. The Necromancer is the Moon. Makes a lot of sense to me in this one too. Six of Scepters, Six of Wands is the Champion. This will be the Page of Orbs, the Page of Pentacles. The Shining Winds, the Knight of Swords. The Eight of Scepters, the Eight of Wands. Seven of Swords. Five of Scepters. The Eight of Swords. Nine of Scepters. The Eight of Orbs. The Chancellor is Justice. Here we go. We saw this one, the Archangel of Mysteries, which I also associate this one with Archangel Metatron or Thoth sometimes, or even Mercury, because they are the messengers. They keep the mysteries. They are, to me, they are the guardians of the Akashic Records. So they keep the mysteries. And the Five of Chalices will be the end of the deck. So I absolutely love this deck. I actually selfishly use this deck only for myself. You know, I have other decks that I use for other people, that I read for clients and for others, but this deck specifically is actually my deck, and I read for myself with it because there's so much symbolism. She combines the Thoth system with the Rider-Waite-Smith system, and she also even throws in some Marseille in there. So I absolutely love this deck. I think it's incredibly powerful. I think it's incredibly also thought out. This is not a mediocre deck by any means. And as you can see, there's a lot to study in these images. There's a lot to look at in these images. You know, especially with the Memory Keeper here, for example, you have the baby eagle and the baby dragon, and she explains all of that and what that means. I also love this, how we have the symbol of the sun and the symbol of Aries. So the Three of Scepters would be the sun in Aries. Mercury in Cancer as the Three of Chalices. And it's just, there's a lot here. There's a lot going on, you know, especially with the outlaw here, the Hanged Man. You have the sun in one eye, the moon on the other eye, representing of Odin or Horus. So you see, you can totally relate to it in different ways. You have the snake, Kundalini. You have the Ankh, upside down. You have the swan and the fish, and you have the pyramids in the back here. So and the two pillars. You know, could it be the pillar of severity and mercy? And then you gotta find your middle ground, your middle way, right? So there's a lot going on. So again, like I said, selfishly, I use this deck for myself because there's a lot with it, and I am going slowly but surely with the 22-week accompanying course that she's got. So I hope you guys enjoy this review. And if you haven't gotten it yet, I highly suggest getting it, just because it's an incredibly powerful tarot deck. And if you are an adamant tarot reader, it'll help you deepen your connection with the tarot. So much love out there, guys.